Welcome back to the Homegrown Chronicles. So this is going to be the fourth installment in this mini series that we're doing on growing your own mushrooms. This is going to be a quick and easy video, but this needs to get done before you're ready to actually introduce your grain spawn into the substrate. So we're going to be making our substrate in our Home Depot bucket. Now we have our airtight lid here. And even though you probably just bought this from Home Depot, still sterilize it. Spray it down with your isopropyl alcohol, wipe it out, and make sure that it's nice and sterile. So once you have that sterilized, then we can get started with our mix, which is really simple. The first thing you want to do is boil 18 cups of water. Not 19, not 17, 18. This is going to give us the perfect field capacity, which we'll get into in a second down the road when we're ready to use the substrate. But do yourself a favor, 18 cups exactly of water, and start boiling it. While that's on the stove and boiling up, then we can start measuring out our substrates. So we have our nice sterilized Home Depot bucket that we'll have. And what we're gonna do is first add your vermiculite. So what we're gonna do is 8 cups of vermiculite go right into the sterilized Home Depot bucket, then put the lid on because we don't want any contaminants to get in there while we're waiting to measure out our other stuff. So once you have 8 cups of vermiculite in your Home Depot bucket, then we're going to add our gypsum. Now, this, we're gonna just add 1 cup of gypsum. Put it right on top of the vermiculite. Kind of, like I said before in the last video, the powders are gonna mix up really well. These are a little bigger pellets. Just give it a little mix, but make sure that you have sterilized gloves and hands when you're doing this. Can't use too much of that isopropyl alcohol. So the last thing we're gonna use is, it's supposed to be 650 grams of the cocoa perth, but these are a little less in this particular brand. It's totally fine. I find that it works it's basically 630 grams, so 20 grams short, but it is perfect amount for just 1 brick. So put that brick into your bucket. Lid on the bucket, go check on your water. You don't want to sit there and let the water just boil and boil off, because then you're going to lose some of the water. So the second it starts bubbling and you can say, that is a boiling pot of water, that's when it's ready to go. So once you have that, you just take your boiling water, put it right into your Home Depot bucket of stuff, put the lid on, and leave it for 24 hours. Now, sometimes because these are airtight lids, it'll start contorting the bucket. It won't break it, but you might think, what the hell is going on in there? It's all dented and bent like you wouldn't think a bucket would get. That's totally fine. In fact, it's actually good. That means that it's nice and airtight, and in 24 hours, your substrate will be completely sanitized and safe for your mushrooms to grow in. So once you've waited the 24 hours, then you want to put on your latex gloves, spray them down with isopropyl alcohol, and get in there and start mixing it up. Once it's fully mixed, you are good to go, as long as it's not really hot. That's why I like to wait 24 hours, because if you put your grain spawn into really hot substrate, it really has a chance of both decontaminating or just killing it. So you really want to do this 24 to 48 hours before you're ready to actually make your tubs. Now, one last thing to say about this is, as long as you keep this lid shut, then this is going to be sterilized. So if you don't use everything, then you can just wait until you're ready, open the lid, and use it as if it's sterilized. So I just like to make these batches, like the batch we just made, every so often as needed. If I have some extra in here, it's totally safe to use. So that's gonna conclude this quick video on how to make your substrate. In the next video, we are going to be looking at our bags and seeing if we're seeing any of the mycelium growing through those peeker windows that are at the bottom of the Uncle Ben's bags. So we're gonna keep track of that and we'll get into it. We're getting really close to starting to actually grow our mushrooms. So that is coming right around the corner. So I will see you in the next video.